This is Terminal 3 at Tokyo Haneda Airport in April 2023. April being the peak season, and this is the queue to the right that will get you through security. We haven't even checked in yet. Today we're taking British Airways from here in Tokyo and flying them home to London. It's an epic 15-hour journey the wrong way around the world. We'll go back in time, see the sun set and rise again before flying over the vastness of Canada and Greenland, all while sitting in what I consider to be one of the best seats in economy on BA's 787. They have these handy people flying the flag at the end of the security queue. This might take us a while. First things first then, let's check in and drop off our suitcases. A small queue here, but absolutely nothing to worry about. We came with 2 checked-in bags and we're heading home with 4. Be warned, you will buy stuff here, so bring some spare bags for your journey back. This was an Avios redemption, giving us 2 23kg checked-in bags, so make sure you book the correct fare. BA fly twice daily to Haneda. On this particular day, the other flight had been cancelled, so we were asked if we'd forego our seats to allow those on the cancelled flight onto ours.
Hi, thank you for waiting.
It's alright. We were offered the chance to be rerouted via Singapore on Japan Airlines and then a BA overnight into London, with £200 for the 10-hour inconvenience. Would you have taken it? Let me know in the comments. Bags dropped, I've sent Morven off to stand in line for security, whilst I take you to explore. If you're collecting Eki stamps, and I recommend you do when you're in Japan, you'll find the Haneda airport stamp at the information point as you get off of the metro and enter into the terminal. The upstairs area features a mock Edo style shopping and dining area, which is a final nod to the culture and the historical traditional buildings you'll find in the likes of Kyoto and other cities. Exploring further, head up and out and you'll get to the observation deck. Possibly the best of any airport that I've been to. The views up here are superb of the airfield. Even if today it's super wet, you're close to the action and you can see everything from the runway to the gates. From joining the security queue to being airside took around 40 minutes, which did cut into our terminal time a little bit. A pit stop at Meat Stars for a actually really decent burger and views of the aircraft again before heading towards our gate. There's some great wayfinding displays in the airport, showcasing where everything is in the terminal. We're on BA6 and that's our gate number 147. If Vegas has slot machines, Tokyo has gashapon machines. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And it looks like the Yoshi Egg is coming on board with us today. Boarding started 25 minutes before our scheduled pushback time and was strictly by group number. Perhaps the one part of the terminal where the views outside aren't that good, but you can just about catch a glimpse of the tail of our 787-9 that will be getting on board. We're in these 2 seats for the flight, the back row in economy. I'll take you through our rationale and the seat in more detail later in the flight. Top tip, the back rows have limited overhead storage. Check out the no bag signs on the bins. The crew rest area is above here, so alas, no space for your bags.
Cabin crew, it's clear to take off. Cabin crew, it's clear to take off.
Right then, 13 hours and 48 minutes to Heathrow. Let's get off stand, to the runway, and into the air.
Let's go!
Now these videos really do take a long time to put together, and I really do appreciate it when you like it, if you've enjoyed it and got something out of it, and maybe even subscribe if you'd like to see something else like this in the future. Go on, it's free and it's just there. First up, drinks and snacks, served to us at the back around an hour into the flight. We bagged the last 3 Diet Cokes, the first one in over 2 weeks, as you can't get these in Japan. An hour later and it's time for our main meal. Perhaps expectedly, being at the back, the first choice had run out, and so it's the veggie option that we're left with. Mushroom noodles, pickled ginger and some veggies. It can't have been too bad. I polished it off, no problem. It came with soft crackers and finished off with chocolate matcha dessert, very on brand for the flight's origin. Let's take a look at the seat now and I'll tell you why these are the best seats for couples. First up, I have all this space next to me. That's my space. I have that much space that I can wave to you. Second, I can store all of my crap down here and get to all of it easily without it getting in the way of where my feet want to go when I want to stretch out. A downside is the armrest doesn't lift, so I'm fairly locked into sitting forwards. I can't really spin around to the right. There is no override button beneath it either to unlock, as some of you have commented in previous videos. A bonus tray table here would be nice for drinks, but we do have a bonus seat pocket. Again, more of our crap can fit in there, and also more space under this empty seat for the blankets and pillows that BA provide when you're not using them. They can all just go under here. And contrary to what most people believe, the seat reclines here just as much as they do in any other row, about a hand's width, which is as good as you're going to get on this flight. Onto the generics of said economy seat, and at boarding you'll find a pillow, blanket and some earphones. The seat has a very outdated entertainment screen, and this is the biggest letdown of BA's economy products in my opinion, and it's so unresponsive. There's a touchscreen that you have to use this remote control half of the time to make it work. The tray table splits into 2, giving you space when you do need it though. The safety card and sick bag are included for free. Legroom's fine, nothing outstanding, but footroom is tight thanks to that dated in-flight entertainment. The box that runs it takes up some considerable space beneath the seat in front of you, and that eats into where your feet want to be. And we get one universal plug between us, plus 2 USB-A ports on the seat, which tend to be fairly intermittent to be honest. There's space up top for 3 lights, but there are no air vents, and the one on the right is a dummy, given we only have 2 seats here. These are controlled from the remote control device that I showed you earlier. You can see here where the cabin starts to taper towards the back, and that's why the seats here are in a pair rather than a 3. I should mention all of our extra space needs to be kept clear for some reason during takeoff and landing. It's a slight inconvenience, but only for the first 10 and last 10 minutes of the flight. So here's where things get really interesting if you're a nerd like me. Let's take a look at the route that we're actually flying today, and tell me what you notice. We're actually flying the long way round back to London. Our route takes us over the North Pacific, over Alaska and Canada, in over Greenland and the North Atlantic, before traversing the UK through Scotland and into London. Owing to well-publicised events, we're unable to take the Siberia route, which, as Great Circle Mapper shows us, is the shortest route between Tokyo and London. Instead, we need to route around Russian airspace towards Anchorage and fly direct from there. This adds between 2 and 3 hours to the flight, but is helped along by the Pacific jet streams, hence not flying west back over China towards Europe. A side note that the flights the day after ours did fly west, and that flight time increased to 15 hours due to the prevailing winds. Ouch. Anyway, back to why this is super interesting, and it's because this routing allows us to cross the international date line. We left Tokyo on Saturday afternoon, and right now we've just gone back into Friday evening as the sun is setting. In fact, the time on Attu Island as we cross over it was 11 PM, so that's an extra hour of Friday we get back before once again reliving Saturday morning. We celebrated crossing the international date line for the first time with a gin and tonic, or 2, or 3, all complimentary on board BA Economy. There's also snacks in the galley, which grew to more snacks featuring everyone's leftover meals later in the flight. The crew also brought around juice, soft drinks and water via a tray every hour or so, making sure people stayed hydrated, which is actually really super service. As night fell, the lights were turned off, all except the ones in the galley, where the curtain wasn't drawn either, and the light did spill over into the cabin. This was an annoyance, shall we say, when trying to nod off and sitting at the back. Halfway through the flight, and we're at least pointing in the right direction for home now. Given the flight would take place during daytime hours in the UK, I did buy a Wi-Fi pass to keep connected to those on the ground. That set me back £19.99 for the duration of the flight. And did the Wi-Fi work? Well, sort of. BA provided a coverage map, and I naively sort of thought that we would pass close to the extremities of it, but not really into the polar regions. However, given our unusual routing, the Wi-Fi did drop out for about 5 hours of the 14 hours airborne. When it did work though, I had no problems messaging, posting on Instagram, and reading through Twitter. The crew locked the windows into dark mode until 2-ish hours before landing. Bloody annoying to be honest, given it was daylight outside, and the scenery below was incredible. The only window I found not locked was that of the rear exit, so I stood there by the toilet, staring at the vast icy landscape below. These views I believe are of Baffin Bay, Greenland. And this is the view that most passengers would have seen if they tried to look outside. Such a shame, especially as the flight is scheduled during the day. It's a day flight, not an overnight flight, and we're landing into the evening. Can anyone share their experiences of similar flights? Let me know in the comments. I'm keen to know if this is a British Airways thing, or do other airlines do it as well? Also, who owns this dark window? Is it me or the passenger in front? The second meal came out, served from the rear this time, so we had first choice. Around 2 hours or so before landing, as the windows were unlocked. Chicken and rice with vegetables, plus a carrot, and perhaps a bean salad and dessert. As second meals go, I rated this. No real skimping on the size, and about the right time before landing. The other option was pasta, which, whilst nice, wasn't as good in my opinion. If we saw our first sunset today over the Pacific, we're going to get our second as we approach London. Before we do that though, a quick view from the loo. This is the toilet just behind our seats towards the end of the flight now, so it's had some use. One consistency though in BA's 787s is just how poorly they're aging. Look at the damage in here. And as a warning, don't come in here without your shoes on. Take a look at the floor. You are certainly going to stick to it. Anyway, sit on the right when you're approaching Heathrow. You'll, more likely than not, get the best views of the city. We're lined up to land now on 27 left, 14 hours after takeoff. So, how much did we pay for this flight? Well, this was the return leg of our Amex 2-for-1 companion voucher redemption. Flying back into London, we paid £108 each, plus 15,000 Avios points, which I think is exceptional value, even for economy. Especially when a one-way seat on the same flight this year is selling for just over £1,000. The seat reservation for these two duo seats at the back came in at an additional £67, just over double a regular window seat on board, and this is a bit steep, but like I said, we think it's worth it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're travelling to Japan soon, I'd love to hear about your trip in the comments, and if you found the video useful, let me know. I enjoyed the flight, the food was good, the seats we picked gave us the room that we felt we needed to make this 14-hour flight bearable. Things I didn't like, well, the seat itself is dated along with the entertainment. I also don't like that these are the most expensive seats to reserve before check-in, but you get the worst service often with the last choice in drinks and food. The hard products at least will be addressed on the 787s and has already been addressed on their 777 fleets with upgraded economy seats. I've got a review coming up of a flight on their 777-300 ERs, and that'll feature the new seat and new in-flight entertainment. That's coming up shortly, so make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss what it's like. on stand now at 8 o'clock, more or less on time. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one.